The unthinkable things that happened to Anne of Cleves, from royal rebound to Tudor winner, divorce never looked so good. Oh, my loves, you think being dumped by text is bad? Try being dumped by royal decree because the king thought your face wasn't giving enough sparkle. Today, we're diving into the criminally underrated, scandalously misunderstood, and iconically resilient life of Anne of Cleves, wife number 4 of Henry VIII, aka the wife who got away with her head, her house, her jewels, her pension, and her peace. This is not the story of a tragic queen. It's the story of a Tudor divorcee who outplayed the entire court and walked away the true winner of the Henry VIII Hunger Games. Part 1. Tinder for Tudors, a portrait catfish. Let's set the stage. It's the late 1530s. Henry VIII has just had Anne Boleyn executed, James Seymour is dead from childbirth, and he's spent a minute being awkward with his advisors and crying over his leg ulcer. But England needs alliances. So enter Anne of Cleves, a German princess from the Duchy of Cleves. No scandal, no baggage, no enemies, just the Protestant realpolitik wife that England needed. Henry sent Hans Holbein, court painter and king of Tudor Instagram filters, to paint her portrait. The result? A total glow-up. Henry saw the painting and said, "Yes, please." But then came the real-life meet-up, and sweet Henry was not impressed. She is nothing so fair as she hath been reported, aka, bro, she's mid. Part 2. The cringiest wedding night in history. Henry married Anne in January 1540, and by that evening he was already muttering insults under his breath. The man who had once jousted for love now couldn't even be bothered to kiss his new bride properly. Their wedding night? An absolute disaster. Henry allegedly came out of the bedroom claiming she had evil smells, sagging breasts, and that he was not stirred. Meanwhile, Anne, probably just trying to survive the vibe shift, had no idea anything was wrong. She kept smiling, playing cards, petting his dogs, and being the perfect queen, while Henry was literally asking lawyers how fast he could escape the marriage. Part 3. Divorce. Tudor style, but make it rich. By July 1540, the marriage was over. That's right, 6 months and the king was already done. But here's where Anne flips the script. When told the marriage would be annulled, Anne didn't scream, she didn't cry, she didn't even argue. She just said, "Oh, cool. Do I get to keep the house?" And baby did she. Anne walked away with a lavish settlement, several estates, including Hever Castle, Anne Boleyn's old haunt, which is so petty of Henry, an annual pension bigger than most kingdoms' military budgets, and the title of Part 4. Court Queen without the stress. After the annulment, Anne thrived. She stayed in England, partied at court, and outlived Henry, Catherine Howard, Catherine Parr, and most of the men involved in her downfall. She got along fabulously with Mary and Elizabeth, was treated with respect, and even got invited to palace events. Think of her as that cool single aunt who shows up to Christmas in a velvet cloak and no responsibilities. Meanwhile, Henry went on to marry Catherine Howard, a literal teenager, and we all know how that ended. Spoiler, decapitation. Anne, on the other hand, was alive, rich, and unbothered. Part 5. Death without drama. Anne died in 1557 at the age of 41. Not bad at all for a Tudor woman, let alone one who had stood next to Henry VIII. She was buried in Westminster Abbey, the only one of Henry's wives to be buried there, not as a queen, but still honoured, still respected. She never remarried, never caused scandal, never complained publicly. But quietly, behind the scenes, she won. Because let's be honest, the others got titles and tragedy. Anne got freedom and financial security. And in Tudor terms, that's basically a fairy tale ending. The queen who played the long game. Anne of Cleves wasn't boring. She was strategic. She read the room, saw the writing on the royal wall, and said, "You know what? I'll take the castles, the dresses, and the pension. Keep the king." She never had to fight for her life in court. She never had to dodge accusations, rumours, or scaffold appointments. And best of all, she never had to sleep with Henry again. So next time someone calls her the ugly wife, remember, she's the only one who walked away smiling.